So, I've done some work on this guy so far this morning, just kind of trying to push him forward. Something happened with my paint layer here. Interesting. Why isn't that working right? Huh. Something got rid of my paint layer here. But anyway, so yeah, so what I've gone through and I've started adding in details to the pants. I've started kind of adding in different levels of detail here to the textures. I've painted in the hair. I've added in kind of like these scars on the face, and I've got one on the stomach too. Yeah, so there are some things I want to go through and do and kind of start kind of plussing out, you know. Um, so far as pockets, I think the pants are probably all right now. We'll probably go ahead and add like little like fasteners, little buttons. Let me see. Up top, I was thinking about taking one of the pockets and essentially making a little pocket out on the outside of the jacket here, but still trying to figure that out. Still trying to decide. So far as I don't know, I'm still trying to decide if I want to, like what I want to do with the vest. What kind of details, things like that. That's fine. Okay. What I want to do. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's start with this. I'm going to start by pulling this in a little bit. I'm going to say, see, that's cool, but it's not really, I mean, it's only in the one spot, and I had gone through and painted like the whole thing, and it looked good, and I liked it, but now it's just like, it's not even there anymore. So I think I'll just leave it kind of the way that it is here. Okay, and then if I want to add, more splotchiness later or whatever, I'll do that. Let's go ahead and let's say bake all. That way we keep the, any of the changes that we've made to the surface. We don't have to worry about it creating any kind of problems for us. Okay, cool. Okay, so the big thing that I want to do right now is I want to add some sort of zipper. I feel like a zipper could work kind of cool to be able to add some sort of level of detail, some sort of something. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to, it's like I don't want to use the standard zipper curves. So we got the zipper metal, zipper plastic, and they're each cool, but they don't. It's not what I want. So if I were to come in here with my zipper plastic, yeah, it's like I feel like what I want to do. Let's go ahead. Let's say this. Let's say to mesh. Okay, so this is what this looks like, which is cool. It's just not quite what I need. So what I'm going to do, let's actually go ahead and say open zipper, semi-open. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so I'm just trying to understand exactly what it is that I'm getting here. Let's go ahead and say brush. Let's dock this. Say to mesh. And then we will make some modifications. I mean, this is all about going through and kind of figuring out how the chunks would work. And I want this to feel, I do want it to feel chunkier. So I'm trying to see, insert multiple edge loops. We'll say specified elevation, we'll leave it the way it is. Actually, let's say interactive elevation. Okay, something like that, something like that. That way it gets a little bit more roundness to it. Go ahead and say crease edge loop partial, get rid of the creasing there, get rid of the creasing there, and there. Okay, so what I'm seeing in looking at this piece, I mean, it's not at all what I really feel like I want out of this piece. So now I'm trying to think, like, how do I design this piece so that it works for me, it works for what I want. Let's go ahead, let's say IMM primitives. Let's grab this. Let's go ahead and just kind of puff this out a little bit. And I don't need it to be all super detailed or anything like that, so what I'm going to do, let's go ahead and center that. We'll say flatten, make sure that we're getting the symmetry here, and then we'll just kind of flatten this down. Accept, scale it out some. Maybe not that much. That might be a little bit too much. Okay, now let's see. I want to have bring this up. Let's do something like this. Okay, let's say geometry, modify topology, delete hidden. I'm going to get rid of, oops. I'm going to get rid of the lower half here. Okay, and then this lower half here, I want to keep this. So what we're going to do is we are going to say let's keep that, but we'll get rid of that and that. Say delete hidden. Say flip faces, island, and get that so that that's like that. Okay. So now what we've got, let's go ahead and get rid of that extra face there. We'll say delete hidden. Okay. And then we'll say stitch to midpoint. I need to log into my Discord just in case anybody shows up. I haven't advertised this this stream at all, and I think I'll probably keep it that way. But if anybody shows up, you know, it'd be nice. Alright. I'll take out my headphones so I can hear in case somebody does jump on. Alright. Cool. Okay, so what I want to do, I'm just going to grab this. We're going to say deformation mirror. So the thing that I am seeing is that this point and this point need to kind of scale out. Actually, probably just need to kind of bring down kind of like this. This point right here, I'm probably just going to leave it the way that it is. Yeah, I think that should be good. So I'm going to say this. I'm going to say bridge, 2 holes, polygroup flat, minimum resolution. Boom. Just like that. And then just like this. And then just like geometry, modify topology, delete hidden. Yes. Okay, so now we've got this piece. And we're going to use this as part of our zipper. Because that feels so much more chunky. But I do want to kind of check back and forth occasionally to see how I feel like it feels with the character. And I think it's only kind of working. Oops. Oh, that's right, because I'm working the. Let's see. Let's take this. We're going to say position. I'm going to change the Y position to 0. That way, this is straddling that axis completely. And now, mirror and topology, or mirror and weld, I can go ahead and let's go ahead and mirror this then. In the Z direction. Golly, what am I doing? Unmask, mirror. What is it doing? What is it doing? Okay, position. Let's get to the position. Let's just make sure that this is all zeroed out. Okay, 0, 0, 0. Perfect. Okay. So now mirror. We want to. Gosh, what do we want to do? I'm just going to turn it so that it's facing the right direction, because it was just kind of a pain to work with it in that direction. So let's do. Oh, shoot. Okay. Activate symmetry. And then, you know what? I'm going to grab a zipper. Got a hoodie here somewhere. Grab my ZBrush hoodie. It's all fitting in proper. Yeah, so like now we can go ahead and we can look at the shape of each of these teeth, and we can kind of see how that needs to be. So the base that this connects into is about the same as about the same width, height as this piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say. So we got that now, and I just need to kind of straighten out one of these sides over here. So I'm going to take this. Yes, let's do it like this. Let's do it like this. This will be a little bit easier. Let's say insert. Let's get rid of these extra edge loops here, so that way we have just this much to deal with. And then we'll just deal with placement here. do a placement in this direction. Just going to kind of scale this in so that it's got a little bit more even of a spacing going around the outside there. And let me see. I want this section to be possibly a little bit smaller and a little bit lighter. So let's go ahead, Control Shift A, Control W. Let's grab this. A little bit lighter, meaning like I wanted to kind of shrink it in like this. Pull it in. I'm going to pull this in something like this, and then what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of that, and we will say bridge to holes. Look out, 'cause here I come. Oh, good grief. Okay. That feels kind of cool. One of the things that I do see is that there is a definite, like almost more square. More square of a piece. And then there's this, there's like this channel running through the middle of them. And the channel, what the channel's for on the middle of these zipper teeth, is it's to make sure that like when the piece is locked together, that the pieces can lock together comfortably, and that the fabric, the ribbon that's kind of holding all the teeth together, you see the ribbon better. This piece of fabric that's holding all those teeth together. Make sure that can kind of fit into the tooth a little bit from the other side, so that they don't clash and kind of hold each other apart. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and say it's bevel edge loop complete. Slide edge loop partial. And that should be good. And then to be able to get this groove, how involved is that? It's not too bad. But it does come down to about halfway. So I'm going to go ahead and select half of those faces going around. We are going to pull it in. Actually, we might even just get rid of it. Yeah, no, we'll just get rid of it. Delete hidden. We'll keep these ones here. Invert, delete hidden. Okay. Because now what I can do is I can take this, I'll say mask a single poly. There we go. Invert the mask. Center it, control, click and drag. And then I just have to line up my tool with that edge right there. Let's make sure, zoom in and we'll get it a little bit better lined up. That'll be nicer. And that will be even nicer. And if we wanted to get this to be super exact, we could just go through and use our clipping brush or different clipping techniques, but that'll be good. Okay, cool. So we got this. Let's turn off the grid because I don't need it right now. I'm going to say bridge, edges. Okay, so we got those connected. I do want to have some sort of possibly a ridge kind of going along here to kind of uphold that shape. So what I'm going to do, let's say insert that and that. Say mask. Okay, and then we'll just go ahead and kind of pull this in a little bit just to give it enough space there. Okay, so I know that I need boom. Okay, so let's go ahead. We will say insert single edge loop. Actually, let's go ahead. Let's do this. We'll say insert multiple edge loops, and then we'll just and we'll turn off interactive elevation. Just make a specified elevation as 0, just to be able to keep it flat, right? Okay, so I know I want 1, 2, 3. Okay, so then we can bridge. Okay, and then we'll insert a loop here. Let's make sure that's a single loop there, and then we can just go ahead and bridge this. Say mask edge loop partial, invert, make a big brush and smooth. I actually probably don't want to smooth everything. We'll just smooth everything up to probably even just want to smooth that one corner. That's better. Alright. So now we've got this tooth for a zipper. I'm trying to think if the shape is really working for me. And I might not know until I put it into a brush and test it out. Let's figure that out. So yeah, let me see. Let me grab a cough drop. Probably speak a little bit quietly or something, just for the sake of conserving energy. I will be stopping my stream at noon today, just so I can get on to other things. It's interesting, I didn't intend to do that. Knock it off. It's funny because this edge is fine, so I'm just gonna you know what, I'm gonna try this instead. Try just pulling up, making these oh come on, local symmetry please. let's kind of scale everything together in that sort of way. And that worked nicely. That works. I want to make it all a single poly group just because that'll be easier to work with. And then gotta keep my sweater a little bit closer, a little bit more handy so I can really see what's going on. Okay. So here's what I want to do. I'm trying to decide if I want to go through and make a full IMM brush that has, like, you know, this zipper piece, and then it's got like an end piece and a top piece, or, you know, how I want to work this out. Let's do it. Might as well, right? Okay. So what I'm going to do, I am going to take Control-Shift-S to shrink that down, delete hidden, and then we're going to bridge edges. Actually, what we could do, delete hidden, bridge two holes. That's just easier. Okay, so there's that. That'll be our base for our top. And our base for the bottom needs to be somewhat similar, but let me check and see kind of what we've got. Yeah, so the one for the top needs to be kind of a chunk. The one for the bottom needs to be a long chunk. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that. We're just going to kind of extend it out one, and that should be good for what we need. And then Control, click, and drag, bring this down here. The bottom chunk, and it's like it's different on different sides. So it's going to be, if this is the insert side, then it's going to be like this long chunk, and I'm just going to have. You know what? Instead of using that one, we'll use this one, because it seems like it's got like this little bit of the tooth kind of at the top, and then it's got the length of the thing at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is Control W. Let's grab this bottom section here. My sister-in-law's in labor, so kind of checking on like little updates here and there. My brother's not very good at giving updates. But you know, whatever. Let's go through, pull it out about the right length, and then I'll just kind of let go. 1, 2, 3. And then let's just kind of shrink it in. Did I have my sound off all that time just now? Oh my goodness, and then I turned it on for the cough. Good grief. Because of course I did, right? So I super apologize. That was like right in your ear. ASMR coughing. So sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah, let's go ahead and we'll say polygroups, auto groups. Okay, and then we'll orient this. I'm hoping this is right. If it's not, then we'll figure it out. Say create, insert mesh, new. Oh, you know what? I didn't even name this. Zipper. Insert side. And then I'll call the other side slide side. It makes sense. We'll just go over here and we'll say create insert mesh. We'll say append. Skip until next restart. And then we'll take this other one, say delete mesh. Okay, so now turn off local symmetry too. Let's go over to curve mode. And it should already be set to, oh, I can just come over here. Modifiers, we don't need to weld points. They're not connected. So try parts, that's great. Okay, so let's go ahead and test. The pieces are really, really close together. Okay, so here's what I need to do. I'm going to take, let's see, let's go to stroke. It says curve step of 1. But what if it were 1.2? Oh, turn on numlock. That looks better. Yeah, that looks much better. Better spacing. Okay, that's much more predictable. So let's go ahead and use this. I'm going to save this brush. Drag up to the top, save as. I'm going to save it to my folder here. Any of these brushes that I make for my projects, I'll make them available through Patreon. Call it SMA zipper. Okay. And then just to be able to make sure, I should be getting, oh, so I'm getting the head of it first. Is that what I want? Yeah, it'll work. But understanding like which direction it's going is a good, it's important. I'm just not very good at remembering. So I'm going to go ahead and do it on just the one side. I have something selected that has just one subdivision level, so that way it actually kind of commits the geometry. But I want to start off. In fact, let's go ahead and start off by by adding in a base for this to what's that called? Yeah, to adhere to. I'm gonna leave it kind of like that. And then I need to adjust the bottom. I need to adjust the top. Obviously, I need to kind of model that out a little bit. But oh, that twist is weird. You know what, let's turn off that piece. Let's go to, if I can find it. Okay, so turn off vest clasps is what we're looking for. And we'll do this one more time. It's getting a lot of twist in there. I need it to not have near that amount of twist. That's better. That's better. That feels more controlled. Okay. So what I want to do, let's commit that. I'll have to manually kind of go in here and twist some of these areas. In fact, we could go ahead and do that with this. Oops, not that. Control, come on, twist, please. In fact, let's just leave it. Let's just leave it. We'll go ahead and we'll just kind of control things manually. You could put half a zipper on the armholes too. Just in case he gets cold, he can kind of pull in and like zip up. Or are you talking about like if there are like removable sleeves? Let me see. Let's say Control W, and then we will say, let's see if it'll let me do polygroup flat island. It let me do part of it. It's an interesting idea. I might entertain that. Oh, come on. How did that not? What is that? What is the meaning of this? Wow. I wonder what's going on here. Let's do this. I don't want to mirror and weld that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say split hidden. Yeah, in fact, we should take that to the bottom. Since it is on the bottom, we'll call this zipper. Mirror and weld. Wow. Oh, extrude. That's why. For some reason, it changed to extrude instead of being the polygroup flat island. Like, good grief. Okay, so now we've got this going on. Now we can turn the other pieces on to the clasps. I'll need to add in the little piece that I wanted to add in to the top here at some point, because I wanted that to be something that could be pulled over. And in fact, I need to make the vest overall feel like it can be like it's a little bit, maybe a little bit girthier. Maybe not. Nah, maybe it's all right. Craig McCracken's new show on Netflix. No, I haven't seen it. What is it? Netflix. Kid Cosmic. I haven't seen it. Is it animated? Trying to see if I can find it on my list. I don't actually see it. Is that something that's out like in a certain region? Because you're here in the States, aren't you? Ah, there it is. It looks interesting. It's got like an interesting background style, and I don't know. I might check that out. Might check that out. How are you liking it? Yeah, it's something I was wondering too. Does it seem like it's more of a kid's show, or is it something that feels more like okay, let me see if I can get this to be what I want it to be. Oh, that's not what I want. That's not what I want. Okay, there we go. Good grief. Oh, I see, because I have the duh. Okay, I see what's wrong. I was like, why in the world? Oh, you know what? I kept it the same poly group. I feel stupid. I feel stupid. I keep going through and doing all these dumb mistakes. It's good. Okay. Let's take this. No, not RGB. I just want the size. Yeah, it's one of those things. I'll have to go check it out. I like to give things a shot. You know. I mean, it's like I tried out it's that really popular one, Gravity Falls. I tried that one out. I didn't like it. I mean, it was not my flavor. Um, yeah, so it's kind of interesting in that sense. Death and tragedy. I eat My Little Pony for breakfast. Best cereal ever. Just kidding. No, my flavor. I really like Carmen San Diego. That's been a fun one. I love Avatar Airbender. Thought that was really really fun. Korra was cool, but I don't feel like she had the same flavor as the as Airbender did. Just like it wasn't the same connection for me with the characters. Um, Yeah, I don't know. Quentin, how you doing, brother? I've been trying to watch through the Star Wars animated series. I finished watching Clone Wars. I didn't particularly like it, but it wasn't bad. And right now I'm kind of listening to what's it called? Rebels. Not bad. Weather's nice today. Yeah, it is pretty nice today. I kind of wish that we'd get more rain though, because it's like, I mean, we didn't get much rain last year. We really didn't get much rain this year either. And just our area could so badly use it. Then you get areas like Malibu, where you get terrible, terrible mudslides, or up close to the hills and things like that. Everything gets super dangerous when it rains a lot. So, you win some, you lose some, but it's kind of rain can be kind of a tricky situation for a lot of people. Like I have some coworkers of mine from when I was working at Disney who they live out in the Malibu area, and they had like terrible like fires and flooding and everything like all at once like a year or two ago, and I guess it would have been a couple of years ago now. But yeah, I mean everything was just happening all at once. So many people got displaced and lost their homes, and it was just, oh my goodness. And it's like, people work hard to be able to live in places like Malibu. You kind of have to. But yeah, this is it's just sad. Insert single edge loop. Let's crease it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hide half. I'm going to say geometry, uncrease all. So we only have the crease on the one side. I'm going to hit stroke, curve functions. I'm going to turn off everything except for the creased edges. Hit frame mesh. And now, actually, you know what? I'm going to say crease, uncrease all. That way it's only creased on that one poly group. Now what I can do is I can say go to my new zipper brush, hit 7 so that it strokes along there, and then we can just go ahead and add our zipper piece there. It's going the wrong direction. Dang it. How do I reverse that? Can I reverse that? Yeah, because it's like it looks good. It's just upside down. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna like temporarily. I'm gonna temporarily reverse my piece. So instead of it being up, I'm gonna make it go this way. And then I'm just gonna say create. Create insert mesh, append. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over and say modifiers, try parts, that's great. Stroke, I need to come into curve. Curve steps needs to be 1.2 like I did on the last one. Oh, hello. And now we can go ahead and use it. And now it's working the way that I would predict. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to say... Let's go over here to depth. Let's push the depth down so that it's actually kind of going into that zipper trail. That might be a little bit too much, actually. Let's just put it to 0. That might not be enough. 10. Yeah, that looks good. I like that. A nice chunky zipper. And it's helping to add so much flavor already. This is something so simple. Yeah, I've actually never been to Malibu. I mean, I think the closest I've ever gotten is probably Thousand Oaks. Went to go have breakfast with my brother-in-law out there with the family and everything. So that was kind of fun. I'm trying to decide right here. I want to add possibly like a little patch, but I don't know. I'll have to decide on that. Right here, though, I do want to make sure that this is not hanging off the end like that. So I'm just gonna fudge it, you know, just kind of push it up a little bit. Okay. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. Just for the sake of kind of saving on time, I'm just going to not delete hidden mirror and weld. Okay. Just to be able to get the zipper on both sides. And then what I want to do is kind of add it's raining over some of the forested parts of Arizona where I got family. Forest. That'd be nice. Here we go. Let's kind of adjust this a little bit. I feel like this is like not quite the right shape that I need for this, so I'm going to adjust this to fit the zipper a little bit better, because the zipper does have a good flow to it, and it just needs to be this profile here. Need to fix my profile. There we go. That's looking awesome. Yeah, so I've got a lot left to do still, but this is coming along great. I'm going to save this. Guy 3. Replace that. It's funny. Usually the Restream app will go through and it'll tell me like how many people are watching. I'm not getting any of that right now. It's kind of funny. Yeah, you can see like this is what it looks like. So I've got the I've got all the chat and everything. 61 degrees in Death Valley, really? Wow. Yeah, so there's like this counter right here, whatever. Usually it'll go through and tell me like how many people are watching from each platform, but it doesn't really always work. And then sometimes it'll go through and it'll work up to a certain point, and then it'll just kind of stop working. It's really kind of weird, but whatever. Whatever. 6 on Twitch, eh? Cool. Either way, I mean, the quantity of viewers is not as important as the quality of the viewers. We have good viewers. Yeah, so gotten some good progress on these pants yesterday and today. I do want to figure out kind of more or less what else I want to do with it. Here's an idea. I need to add some sort of seam along here. No, not that. Insert. In fact, maybe we'll do insert. Insert that. And then we'll use select lasso. Okay, good. It is working on both sides. Uh-oh. 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 What's happening? No! At least I saved my little zipper brush. That's helpful. ZBrush crash! That's kind of fun. So you're getting double the views in there then, huh? Okay, bring that back. Oh, I guess that's not the direction that I wanted to go. Let's go ahead and do it this side. To turn off this dynamic view. It's super helpful, but it's one of those things that is really only helpful to a certain point. Kind of pull this away a little bit. Not a ton, but yeah, just a little bit. You can be anything you want to be. Happy little trees. Just add kind of like a little seam there. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to say apply, and we're going to turn on dynamic, but we're going to turn off thickness. We're going to turn up dynamic subdivisions here. And so that's what our pants are looking like. Now there are a few things I want to go through and kind of add. I want to go in and add some like modeled in creases here around the top of the legs here. These knee pads need to have some sort of design to them instead of just being, instead of just being like simple pill-shaped knee pads. And I feel like they're not quite big enough. I think I need to make them like chunky. So let's do that. Since we're here, might as well. Let's get chunky. 50% chance of rain. Well, the sky seems like, I mean, I can't see the sky, but judging by the light coming in through the window, it kind of feels like there's likely some cloud cover. I'm just gonna take this. Oh, here, let's take this and kind of flesh out that shape a little bit. It's a little bit easier to see sometimes when it's not dynamically subdivided. Let me see. Okay, cool. So that's the only piece with that poly group. Perfect. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit 7. Oh, it didn't work. Curve functions. Come on. Oh, maybe it did work. It did work. I was like, why isn't it working? Let's give it a nice chunky trim. I'm going to turn off symmetry. And then we'll go ahead and we'll mirror it, but yeah, I feel like this is the best way to get that to go on. So this character is for the ArtStation challenge. It's really exciting to me because I really like the ideas that I have for him. Yesterday I was trying to come up with ideas about like backstory, but yeah. So the idea is to create an animation ready character, okay, which I've gotten most of it done, and then to be able to do the texturing and posing and lighting and all that, and submit it for the ArtStation contest. Let's see, Control W. Okay, let's go ahead. We'll get rid of this. Oops. It should be symmetrical, I believe. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and mirror and weld. Other direction. Deformation, mirror, mirror and weld. Okay. And then right here I want to get rid of that center loop. For now. So yeah, that's the main idea of what I'm doing with this character. Um, the yeah, and then it's just something, you know, super different for my portfolio. A lot of my portfolio stuff is very Disney influenced, Disney adjacent. And so this is something that's more aimed at, like, you know, being more like a Cartoon Network type style, or you know, things like that. Get some little seams kind of happening in here. This shouldn't be this way. Let's go ahead and Control W. Let's get rid of that. Control W. Okay. Now we can extrude that. Let's say crease PG. Let's just say crease 45. Let's just go ahead and crease that so that way it gives us a nicer. It feels a little bit too chunky, especially right down here. Let me see. You know what? Here's what we're gonna do. Instead, we're gonna say inset polygroup island. Turn off that equidistant. Let's say mask polygroup island. Do something kind of similar to this, like what I did with the side. Just kind of like push it out. What side did I use? I pushed this side out. Okay. Uncrease that just so that it doesn't hold the shape quite as strong. But then what I do want, let's go ahead and say crease this edge loop and this partial. No, it's not really supporting it well enough either. Ay. There we go. Let's go ahead and insert single edge loop here. That'll hold that shape better. Okay. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Okay, so we're getting some strange shapes kind of happening through here. I want to add creasing here. Okay, so this will happen to all these little trenches here. So let's make sure we've got symmetry on. We'll tap that. Get that one. Get that one. So now it should be there on all 6 of those pockets. I had to do the math quickly in my head. Is like, how many pockets do we have? A few. Let me see. Here's what I need to do. These purple belt loops, I'm going to, let's say uncrease. I like the idea of them being rounded, but I want them to be like solid enough that they are. They have an interior. Look at that. Huh. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Let's get rid of. Oh, you know what? That's interesting. Okay, we'll get rid of that. Invert. Get rid of the outer pieces that we want to keep. Modify topology, delete hidden. I think that's the only, like that's probably the only piece that I had that that issue with. Okay, let's get back to business. Let's say insert single edge loop. I'm going to go ahead and add one here. Add one here. Add one here. So that I can kind of support the squareness of these pockets. I'll do stuff with the flaps too, but for right now I'm just trying to go through and control the pocket shape. I'm trying to maintain the same kind of threshold here so that it's not inconsistent. So it's like I don't get one pocket that's like super sharp and one that's not as sharp, purely because of scale and whatnot. I don't want it to feel like I took one pocket and scaled it around, which I did at one point. But by going through and controlling it in this way, I'm able to exercise, you know, better control. I'll just leave it at that. I think that's really kind of the core principle of it. Let's go ahead and put support edges around there. We'll put one up here. Put one right there. But right here, what I want to do is I want to have this be like lead around and have it be a loop. So instead of just leaving it kind of like it is, let's go ahead and I'll show you what I'll do. And I'll have to do this for the other flaps as well, but this is something that's kind of important to me right now. I'm going to say stitch to end point. Well, in fact, it might even be easier just go ahead and say collapse edge. So you see that? You see the flow that makes? So that makes that rounded flow there, and so it's going to support the edge going around, but it's not going to make this a sharp edge coming down. So you can see the difference. Like this one that I haven't done it to, it's much sharper, much more of a corner, but this one's rounded. Okay, so the difference, the topology there. Okay. This is kind of dipping a little bit, so I gotta fix some of the shaped flow through here. Say mask flat island, invert our mask. Funny, like I keep checking my phone every so often to see how it's going with my brother's my brother's baby. I gotta go ahead and add a crease to this edge loop partial right here, so that way it holds that shape better, makes it feel more like a seam. And here, let's go ahead and let's grab this corner and just kind of pull it out a little bit. And see what it is that I did and try to replicate it on these other flaps. Hey Quicks, how you doing? Yeah, lots of progress on this character. I mean, he's only half there, but yeah, so he's coming along really well. I've made a lot of you know, like I've added a belt buckle. I've gone through and added like zipper and tried to start texturing and things like that. I've even added in like a face scar. Did some cool like exploration with you know, just style and things like that. Trying to figure things out. It's been a lot of fun so far. Definitely a very different challenge though. And right now what I'm doing is just kind of getting these you know, these pockets going. So yeah, we'll go through, we'll do just like we did with the other pocket. Go ahead and add this stuff. I'll worry about kind of fixing this these corners here after I go ahead and do the bottom pocket since we're here, right? Go ahead and add support, add that. We've got the corners, we've got the lower edge. Okay, now let's go ahead and we'll collapse this down. Collapse edge, boom, 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 chaka laka laka, boom, chaka laka laka, boom, chaka laka laka. Okay, so you got that down. Got that down. Oops. Okay, so now we've got this stuff going on. I still need to kind of fix the pocket, the flap, so that it feels more like this, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Let's go ahead and we'll say crease edge loop partial. Let's get that. We'll get that. You can do this in Blender, but I never used ZBrush. Yeah, Blender's hard. Let's go ahead and do something like this. Go ahead and hide that, soften, bring it back. Bring this forward a little bit. Pull that in, pull it out over here. Oh, come on, you. There we go. Okay. So now that the pockets are looking good, got to try to figure out what else I can do to make this feel right. I'm gonna say crease PG. So a few things that we got to do. I'm going to, I want this to have like a little bit more volume and roundness to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab it. So like instead of being so, let's go ahead and do something like this. Control, undo masking, Control W, Control Shift S, Control W. So that way we have two different polygroups there. I want to say uncrease all, and then we'll say crease PG, and then what I want to do is I want to, in fact I might not even want to have this group creased. Yeah, let's uncrease this, and then we'll Control Shift X. Oh, no, don't save yet. Control W, just so that that's its own polygroup, and that looks better. That looks better. Okay, now we'll save it. I want this in the right folder. Yeah, I mean I've used Blender a little bit, but like not enough for me to be able to do any of this in it. Yeah, so all of this it's all low poly. That's just what that is. In fact, I don't like that 6-pointed star area right there, so I'm going to kind of offset that some. Maybe not. I mean, it's about to get a little bit heavier in topology through here anyway, so it's not really a huge deal. But like for instance, this right here, this is all, you know, high resolution topology, low resolution topology. So if I turn this on and then I, you know, up-res, there's my low resolution topology on the high surface, or the high resolution surface. Yeah, the way that you would go through to be able to do this. So what I'm using down here is dynamic subdivisions. So it's a way of being able to kind of preview that that high resolution mesh. The body, I've already kind of got the body where I want it, so I'm not really as concerned with you know, keeping it the lowest so that I can, you know, have the dynamic. But what I can do is I can go through down here, turn on dynamic, you know, and then it's, you know, I'm essentially just working on low resolution stuff, but, you know, being able to see it more or less in a higher resolution final state. With this particular mesh, since I have gone through and subdivided, the points are kind of moved around a little bit. So like if I were to go through and just have the dynamic mode, you notice that like the mouth is a little bit open. Let's go ahead and turn that off. But if I turn up my resolutions, the mouth is completely closed. So it's a little bit, there's a little bit of a discrepancy there, purely because I have gone through and added that resolution. But yeah. Yeah, I do. I work a lot in low resolution because it's helpful. It's super helpful. see. Let's go ahead and grab this, and we'll say mask edge loop partial. The thing that's helpful to me about being able to edit in low resolution is that it really gives me much more control. It gives me much more control, and it allows me to really be able to see in a linear way how the points are working together, how they're not working together, that sort of thing. So I try to pay attention to edge flow and things like that. And if I can see it in a linear fashion, it's a little bit easier for me. A lot of that comes down to personal preference, but one of the nice things about being able to switch back and forth is that the high resolution or the dynamic preview will give you kind of an impression as to whether or not the surfaces are really working. But yeah, it's kind of tricky. You know what? I think I want the flappy part. What do you? I'm not sure I understand the flappy part. You're talking about the flaps over the pockets? Does it bother you at all that the pant zipper is supposed to be off center? Well, I mean, it's the cover for the zipper. I mean, the zipper goes right down the middle, and the cover for the zipper goes over that. Not really sure what the question is, but yeah, and that's just kind of how that happens. I mean, I just gotta put stuff in. Let me see. Okay, so right here, one of the things that I want to try to do, I want to add like an extra edge loop going through here. So I think what I'm going to do is let's just kind of pull this up some. It's okay. Don't worry about it. My design, not yours. That's one where I'm going to go through and worry about my my own input. Let's go through. We'll insert an extra edge loop there. Means I'm gonna need to add in an extra edge loop back here, that's fine. That's fine, that'll work. Oh, because it's going on the inside. Means I gotta fix the why display. Let's go ahead and turn on double so we can see. There to there. Oops. delete that. Now we can go ahead and we can add in that in. My brain's a little bit scrambled. No, I haven't, but my intention right now is to go ahead and rig this guy at least a little bit so that I can get, let's go ahead and turn on symmetry. So I can get, you know, more pose iteration, more pose flexibility, and then I'll go ahead and I will, good crap. And then I'll go ahead and yeah, so I'll rig them and pose them inside of Maya, and then I'll kind of do some like refinement stuff inside of ZBrush when it's time. Yeah, because there's a lot that I want to be able to do with this guy. I kind of want to explore his poses a little bit better. Let's go ahead and kind of refine this form out. I feel like there are a lot more loops going around the outside, and I could add another one in here to be able to kind of refine that form a little bit better. So let's do that. Okay, so we're just gonna pull that down a little bit. Lost sight of my view. Hide the topology so I can see form and structure a little bit better. Let's kind of move this out some. Just cozy it out. How do you find the ArtStation challenge? So the ArtStation challenge, if you go to, let me go ahead and pull open a tab. If you go to ArtStation, You can easily find it by coming over to challenges. Okay. And then you can find the different challenges that are down here. You can find past challenges and some submissions and things like that as well. Yeah, mine's in here. So if you come in here to the Grand Space Opera, you can see the briefing or the different rules and things like that, different announcements, which I don't know if there have been. I guess there are some things. I'll have to go through and kind of take a look at this and see what the announcements are that they've made, and then submissions, so you can go through and see kind of what it is that people are working on. And there's some really cool ones that are coming along. You can see Jose Ponte's. I love that one. It's super cartoony and super fun. Muhammad's over here. Muhammad Hassan Ibadi. Super cool. That's looking great. Yeah. So that's where you find this. I'll send you. Let's go here. I'll send you the link just in case you're interested in finding it. Wow, there have been a lot of posts made since mine. I didn't already scroll past it, did I? I love this one too. It's got some interesting appeal to it. The motherly figure. There we go. Yeah, I'm like way down here. This is cool. Yeah, there's some really cool ones. Let me see. View that one. View this one. Ellie Dupont. Super cool. It's got a lot of like Avatar kind of vibes to it, but it's super neat. I mean, the application is super cool. The headdress, the clothing that she has started. That, and I think the theme of having like this mother figure with the baby, whatever. This is so super cool. And this one's pretty neat. I love the different musculatures. The hand things for the feet. That's weird. That's really weird. But I love the rest of it. I like that. Yeah, the hands for feet thing is really kind of weird to me. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What is this? Pages unresponsive. I'll just say exit pages. That's fine. I don't need it. Hopefully it's not indicative of internet problems. Yes, I'll agree. Better than feet for hands. I'll agree with that. Yeah, let's go ahead and see. I want to make sure I got the right material too. We're going to come over here, MRGB, color, fill object. So that way it's the same. Okay. That way it's going to kind of create more of that look here. I also want to I want to add more resolution to this. So let's say, let's go ahead and add in a loop there, loop there, loop there, loop there. Here we go, loody loo. Here we go, loody la. Okay, and then what I want to do is I want to use these loops to create kind of a corrugated sort of look. Got about a half hour left to be able to get as much done here as I can. On like side manner, we're going to go ahead and kind of pull this one down a little bit. Say bevel. Control A. Let's get rid of that. Control W. And then we'll go ahead, we'll insert single edge loop. In fact, not single edge loop, let's make it multiple edge loop. That way I can make sure that I'm getting it in the middle there. Okay. And then, let's invert it. Control A. We'll go ahead, deformation, we'll say inflate in the negative direction. Then we'll say crease, edge loop partial, sweet. And there are our knee pads. Let's save it. Need to be better about saving. Yeah, so just simply adding in like creasing and kind of changing the way that points align really change the whole look. In fact, I think what I want to do, let's go ahead and say Control W, please. Okay. And then we'll say I'm going to say insert, insert multiple edge loops. If I can, there we go. Just kind of inflate this in the positive direction so that this definitely goes into the mesh around it. It looks like it's a little bit too much. Let's do this. Grab this, we'll inflate it a little bit. Pull it back so that it covers that covers the base of that pad. It feels more like it's attached to the pants. I do like kind of like the darker color. Is that Francis? How you doing, Francis? Checking out the art jam on the Gnomon channel. Paul Gabry always startles me whenever he does that. Look at me! Look at me! But I guess that's the point. Yeah. Well, Lisa needs braces. That's a very, very Paul Gabry thing. Yep. In fact, I think he's the only one that has ever referenced really any of that for me. Let's see. Masking. I need to mask creased. Let's say Not border, not that. Just need creases. And I guess what we'll do too, let's do this. I'm gonna say Control A. Sorry, not that. Let's do this. We're gonna say mask, polygroup island, boom. Okay, now we can do this. Deformation, if I can find it. And inflate that just a smidge. Okay, the other thing I want to do, because there are a lot of other things I want to do, I'm going to take this and I'm going to kind of darken it a little bit. So let's go, no, let's not even do it through here. Let's just go to RGB, turn off Z-Add, and let's turn off the mask, or at least the preview for the mask. Yeah, I like that. Now I'm trying to decide if it's just too dark, because it might be a little bit too dark. Let's turn off the, or like, you know, hide the mask. We'll grab this color down here. Yeah, maybe want it like a color somewhere down here. And then we'll just come over here. We'll just turn our RGB intensity down really low, and then we'll start filling the object just gradually so that it kind of evens it out, harmonizes it a little bit. Maybe a little bit more. Let's say mask. Where is it? Masking right there. Mask by feature crease. Bring everything back. Want to get like a darker color. Heck, it might even just come down here. I think, yeah, it might not be darker. I don't know. We'll see. Z, just to kind of punch those details just a little bit. That might be a little bit too much though. That's better. We'll call that good. Yeah, I haven't even watched, I don't think I've watched any of the Gnomon jams. No, I guess I watched part of one, but I can't remember who was on it. Yeah, yeah. Let's come down here. Let's grab this for now. Say color fill object. Oh. Yeah, that works better than I thought it would. I was like, let's just put it up to this color and just see kind of how it goes, and it works. I mean, it kind of frames in the vest nicely. I think it complements the other colors, the other browns that are in there. Sure, I'll keep it. I'll keep it. That cough has got to go away someday. Alright. Let's work on these shoes a little bit. These shoes have a long way to go, but it's, you know, they're coming along, and it's happy to see them progressing. So let's go ahead and take these. Let's go ahead and say extrude edge loop. Let's kind of start to pull those out so we can kind of control them. I'm not entirely sure what I want to do with these straps. I'm kind of like in the design phase as I am with most everything right now. Yeah, I think the one that I watched had to do with creatures and like big kaiju creatures crashing through the city. I, I don't remember very well though. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but that seems to be kind of what I remember. Um, it might have been Josh Herman actually. I'm trying to remember. It sounds about right. Might have been him. I'm not very familiar with Josh. I mean, I work at Noman. I teach for Noman, but yeah, like there are so many instructors there that I just have never had the pleasure to meet. I might have meeten Josh. I might have meeten. Oh my goodness, my English is suffering right now. I might have met Josh at some point. Um, as with a lot of the other um, big name people there, like Alex Alvarez. I've met him a time or two. Um, I work with Max Dayan, so you know, so he's kind of built in. In fact, he's my boss. Um, but yeah, um, yeah, I haven't met everybody yet. I should though. I should make it a point when all this is over to go ahead and actually meet instructors and department heads and people like that. It's just professional courtesy. I'm very good at like keeping to myself. You know what? This right here, I want to have this lead down to the. This is going to be like a light of some sort. I don't know exactly what it's going to be, but it's going to be something cool. It's going to be something cool that you're going to like. Bring this down. Bring this over. This right now has dynamic thickness turned on, so it's yeah, so it's really easy for me to iterate with this piece. I don't have to worry about ruining the thickness at all. It's just something that's going to happen when it's done. It's going to keep it the same, and then it's going to, and then once I commit it, then it'll become actual thickness, and then I'll have to worry about messing it up. Here's what I need to do. I need to decide. And here's a good idea. I'm going to recycle the belt. Control Shift D. Let's just do that. That'll work nice. Nicely. A cool Oh, for some reason I saw a cool spaceship, and I was like, but it's like face ship, and it's like what? With an awesome. I got super lost there for a second. I was like, what in the heck's going on? And then all of a sudden I kind of caught up with it. I was like, oh, it says face sculpt. Oh my goodness, I really am suffering today. What's going on? All right, let's go ahead. Let's go over here. We will say geometry. Modify topology, delete hidden. Okay. So let me see. I want to let's take out a couple edge loops. Let's make it kind of a narrow piece. Okay, just kind of stretch this out just a smidgen. Let's get this straighter. I want this to be kind of a straighter surface here, straighter edge. And then we'll shrink it down some. Make it fit. It does feel a little bit rounded though. Let's kind of play with that shape some. I was thinking about getting into working on the speeder bike a little bit more. I need to at least go in and get some good images to update my challenge. But I'm not gonna lie, my kids love my kids love going on walks with me to go and because they know that if they go on a walk with dad, we go and get something to eat, some sort of treat, some sort of like lately we've been going and like if we want donuts, I make them walk for it, like we walk a good 2 miles just to eat donuts. There's this really good place that's kind of close by. It's about a mile away, so we walk, and by the time we're done, it's about 2 miles walk. But they enjoy it. Yeah, I kind of want to make a face ship now. What was that? There's this anime. I don't think I've ever actually watched it. I started watching it, but there's some sort of like space pirate with like this ship that has like a face on it. It's like it's kind of that's what I'm thinking about now when I think face ship. Bardes, how are you doing? Guerrelagan. ¿Qué significa eso? What does that mean? The anime? Yeah, it is good motivation because get good donuts. Spend time with dad. Who doesn't want to spend time with dad? I've got strangers on the internet who want to spend time with Dad. Everyone wants to spend time with Dad. Okay. I'm gonna call that good. I like that. I think that looks cool. Let's go ahead. Let's say mirror and weld. So now the shoes are close to finished. These shoelaces. Let's try. I don't know if I like the darker color as much. Let's go ahead and kind of bring it back toward lighter, but we're going to do it with a lower intensity. That works. That looks pretty cool. Is there a story behind the nickname Smartest? So Smartest is a combination of my initials, SMA, and the word artist. Really, it was just kind of like a, I guess kind of like the art blog I had run since I was in high school was Wasp Art, WASP Art. And you know, I did that because I was the school mascot at one point, and our school mascot was the wasp, and so I was Wasp Art. It just made sense to me. It was cool, it was fun, whatever, and I really liked it. It's like nothing can sting a wasp, and I was all like school spirit about it and everything. And so my wife told me, you should probably think about going through and kind of changing that. Do something. Do something that's more you, representative of you. And so I had to think about it for a little while. I was like, well, representative of me. So I went through and I kind of like jotted down like a billion little things. But then I came back to SMA. It was like representative of me, my initials, artist, smartest. I like that. and from then on, it just kind of just stuck. It was good. It was good. I really liked it. I'm actually curious. Let's see. I'm going to grab these. It's a little bit too much. Let's try this instead. Just something that's like slightly darker, not quite as dramatic. I like that better. That feels more harmonized, more unitized. When you work on your characters, do you ever imagine in your head what the character would look like animated? All the time. All the time. Yeah, I actually find it super, super helpful to be able to think about, and I do sketches all the time about like what someone would look like if they were feeling a certain way or whatever, or if they were reacting to something. So yeah, it's totally and especially when I get into the matter of posing the character and creating an identity outside of outside of the ZBrush. that's just kind of that's just kind of what I go for with that. Do a lot of exploration, a lot of thinking about like who this character is, what their personality's like, what their tendencies are, different things like that. When I first saw your profile name, I thought this guy must have a lot of good knowledge about art. I should follow him. Yeah, it's one of the little advantages to being the smartest. It's like the name just automatically gives you some sort of rapport, you know, some sort of automatic reputation. Yeah. I'm gonna pull this out. What I want to do is I'm going to use this to be able to make, oh, maybe not that one. Let's pull out this one. I'm going to use this to be able to make like the part of the scarf that's hanging over. Say Control W so that we can get that to be something else. Now let's say delete hidden. Okay, timer just went off, so let's see if we can kind of block in a little bit more of this scarf before we completely say goodbye. Rotate this. I kind of want this to be on the inside of the vest, so let's do that. Put this in on the inside, just barely inside of the vest here. I think that'll be helpful. And just layering things, making things feel natural. There will be some evening out to do here with this piece, but starting to come together a little bit. It's also easy to remember, and that's a good thing. Yeah, absolutely. It's like, who am I? I'm Stephen Michael Anderson. What do? I'm an artist. You know, and it's like there's no question. Well, actually, there are lots of questions. A lot of people ask, but it's cool. Like, I wanted to do a little bit of a podcast about it and talk about like personal identity as an artist, you know, things like that. But I haven't gotten into it yet. Podcasting is one of those things that's a little bit more difficult for me to do. I enjoy this sort of format where I'm like sitting down sculpting and just kind of talking while I'm sculpting and responding to chat and things like that, but actual podcasting is so much commitment. At some point, what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to experiment with getting this, let's mask that and kind of pull this piece in a little bit. I'm going to want to experiment with getting getting this to feel like it's more in a knot. Control Shift D. Might try something. Let's kind of take this and maybe put it into his, make it like a side sash or something. It's kind of like just blocking in an idea. Sometimes you just get those and you just gotta try it out. And then I'm trying to make sure also that it's down low enough that it's not creating weird tangents with the pocket, so it's not lining up weird at different pieces of the rest of the model. Okay, something like that for right now. Something like that. It kind of feels like it's almost like a rag or something that he was using to wipe off his, you know, you could use it to wipe off his brow, or you could use it to wipe off the windshield. I don't know, whatever he uses it for. But it's there. It's part of the character now. It's coming along. It's coming along. It's got some good changes going on, some good details added. I need to add in some sort of what's it called? Some sort of bow, like tie, some sort of tie for the shoes. Because right now they're just kind of laced. You're going to reuse the poly paint, or are you going to texture it again with other software? So I'll actually be using the poly paint as the textures. My computer doesn't handle Substance Painter as well as I would like, which is why with my course over here, I don't have a texturing module with it, except to be able to show polypaint and how I use it, and the multi-map exporter and things like that. Which, you know, it's still enough. I mean, I can still go through and get things like different maps, different passes, different things like that. I'll be able to get things like a normal map or displacement map if I wanted to for his scars, all the color variation in the vest and in the other pieces. They'll come through in the texture in the diffuse maps. And then I'll be able to create, you know, normal maps. I could go ahead and use the color maps to create some sort of roughness or specular pass. You know, so there are lots of little things that I can do with just the maps that come out of ZBrush. And if I needed to, I could go ahead and I could create something more specific. You know, for instance, I'll use different parts of the spec, the roughness and spec maps that I create, or the color maps that I create, to be able to create something like subsurface scattering for characters, like for his skin. So yeah, there'll be things like that I'll get into. But yeah, it's really nice, and I really quite like that workflow. It just makes it easier. Cool. Let's see right here what I want. I know I keep saying that I'll jump off, but I totally don't even mean it. I'm gonna kind of fill that in just to get a little bit more depth. Let's get a little bit less contrast between the between that edge color and the interior points there, and make it a little bit easier. So I'm running on a laptop. I am running on an Acer Predator. I have a Core i7 7th generation Intel chip, which is pretty nice. I mean, I've got I think 32 gigabytes of RAM, which is why I can handle ZBrush as well as I do. I'm trying to remember the type of graphics card that I have. I've got an NVIDIA GTX GeForce card. It's like a 1080 Ti, but it's in a laptop, which is nice. So I mean, it works pretty well, but it doesn't work as well for things like, I don't know, for some reason the graphics card doesn't support. Like I can't use it to do GPU rendering on Maya in Arnold. For some reason, it just always complains and crashes, which is a pain in the butt. There are a few things that it just doesn't like to do, and so, you know, it's just one of those things that I try to, I try to just suck it up, do what I can with what I have, and yeah, most of the times it just works just fine. It's but it sure can be a pain sometimes. Let's go ahead and center that. Bring this down. And then I'm going to use this to make the little bottom piece for the zipper. And let's go ahead and make it its own polygroup. Geometry, delete hidden. Get something like that, and then we have to have some way for the zipper to kind of get in there, so we got to kind of inset it a little bit. Okay, so let's take this. Actually, let's do this instead of getting rid of that. Let's do this. Let's get rid of these polygroups. And then we'll say extrude polygroup island. Sure. Extrude that down. Stitch to endpoint, sweet. Come on, you. I know you want to. Stitch. I hate it. Oh, that's why. Duh. Duh. Okay. Nope, don't extrude. I want to delete a single poly, delete that, delete that, delete that, delete that, delete that. Okay. Now it should stitch just fine. Haha. Go. There we go. Nice big chunky zipper. All right. Save that. Are these models optimized to put in a game engine? They could be. I mean, the topology is low enough that I could put it into a game engine. Right now, I'm kind of working on like boosting my my high resolution sort of meshes. Like, I mean, I've got the zippers here, which have actually quite a ton of topology to them. So maybe I'd have to go through and kind of redo some of these points. Like figure out a way to be able to do the zipper in a less poly intensive way. But I mean, I've got low resolution topology really for everything. So so yeah, I mean, this is something that I could go through and come on. You can see I've got all these different pieces with low resolution topology and high resolution topology, and it's all just kind of part of the process. But this it's not made for game engine. This is made for animation. So so yeah, I mean, that's kind of the idea, being able to make a character that's animation ready for the ArtStation competition. So I think for this I want to actually go through and kind of change the color a little bit, make it stand out a bit better. Just so that way it reads as something different. Might be a little bit too different though. Yeah, let's do this. Let's say and then we'll just kind of warm that up a little bit. So make it a little bit darker and a little bit warmer. That'll help it to feel more like it's been used on something. Okay, yeah, that's where I'll leave it for now. So yeah, it's coming along cool. I'm really excited to. Really excited to get this guy pumped out. I mean, he's coming along well. He's been a really exciting one for me to work on, just because he is so different from everything else that I've done. But yeah, Republic of Gamers. Yeah, I have a Republic of Gamers laptop too. Starting to notice my computer working extra hard and the fans are louder than usual. Yeah. I used to get a lot of criticism for how loud my fans are. I don't get it as much because I figured out how my microphone is unidirectional, and I used to have it so that it was hanging over my computer, and because of that it was pointing at where my fans are, and so that was getting all the noise from the fans. It wasn't getting the sound from my voice, and so it was a pain in the butt, but whatever. You got it fixed. I got it fixed. I got it figured out. And now my sound is actually audible. I was gonna say edible. It's like, it's not edible. So models will take A little while. I mean, this one I started working on last week, and I spent some good time on it. Not a ton, but I mean, I've got a topologized character that's nearing completion within a week. So it'll take probably the rest of the challenge time, another month to be able to get it so that this guy and his let me show you his speeder bike. So I got him in there in a rough pose so that I can understand the proportions that I need for the vehicle. But yeah, so this is kind of the point that I had the vehicle at this moment. So it'll probably take me the free time in the next month to be able to get this to work right. But it's working. It's getting there. I'm really excited about how it looks. And yeah, all this is just all original designs by Smartest myself. I like to thank myself for taking no days off. Do something like this. I'm trying to figure this out. Thank you. That's so nice of you. I have a ton of fun with everything that I do, and so it's just a matter of do what you enjoy and find ways to be inspired and figure out ways that you can improve. Just I'm trying something super different so that I can really push my own envelope and figure myself out a little bit. But yeah, this is kind of the idea. Let's save this. Just kind of keep a little bit of progress here. Yeah, I probably would finish faster if I wasn't chatting and streaming and stuff. I do get into kind of like a zone when I'm working where it's just like doom 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 and just rapid fire getting things done. I mean, it's like to the point where even if I have a TV show running or music or something, it's just like my brain kind of almost just tunes it out and everything else, and I just work, I just go. Yeah, it's kind of fun that way. I really enjoy what I do. But yeah, that's kind of the idea. I'm gonna kind of put him up here in the corner too, so I can see the full character. Something like that. Now we'll go ahead and we'll say Control Shift E for export, and we'll Control Shift E is my own personal shortcut for it. To be able to do this, I'm just exporting the document, so I'm just going up to Document, Export, okay, and that's what's going to export whatever's visible on your document space. It does not take into account Spotlight, so if you have a Spotlight pulled up, then it's not going to take that into account at all. But yeah, it's super helpful. Let's say for beat. In fact, I think I'd probably want to have him from this angle so that I can see his. Although it was nice to have the scar in plain view like that. So maybe what we'll do. Maybe what we'll do is we'll do something like this. Shift S, come down over here, zoom in nice and close. Let's kind of angle it a little bit. Control Shift E. And we'll We'll say 4C. I might go through and do an Instagram update. We'll have to see. I like to watch classic movies where I don't have to pay attention to it and just have it as background noise. Yeah, it just kind of helps to kind of get your brain focused and your eyes focused, just because it's like you don't have to worry about anything else. Your ears are already kind of taken care of. But yeah, so that's what I got today. I'll probably work on this probably daily for the next while. At least for this week. We'll have to see kind of how schedules go next week. But yeah, super excited. Thanks for coming and having fun with me, and hope you guys are having a good time. Hope you guys are staying safe and healthy, and